Now joined by the girls, the Trevians chasing their second trophy in 4 seasons. It's the first. Now joined by the girls, the Trevians chasing their second trophy in 4 seasons. It's the first trip for Edwardsville, but Coach Lori Blade won 2 Class A titles with Carrollton.
And welcome to Redbird Arena on the campus of Illinois State University. The Fenwick Friars are in tomorrow's semifinals, and we will crown another semifinalist here in Game 2. Hi, I'm Lee Hall. We'll be with you all this afternoon, bringing you sideline reports. It's New Trier. They picked up a trophy in 2001. Edwardsville's never been this far before in AA girls basketball. Here for the call of today's game is Dave Bernhardt and Daryl Kipp. Gentlemen?
Thank you very much, Lee. And, you know, Lee mentions that New Trier, 2001, they get a third-place trophy. Edwardsville's never been here. However, Edwardsville has a little X factor involved in the form of Lori Blade, their head coach. She's been here, and she's done that.
She has, and she's really gone down to Edwardsville, turned that program around. Edwardsville's always been good, but recently they hadn't been here, so she went, took that team over, and she must be an excellent coach because she turned the program around, and they're here for the first time.
These two teams come from opposite ends of the state, so how do they meet here in Normal? We'll take a look. This is how they advanced. First of all, New Trier, big win over Northside Prep, and then a rivalry win over Evanston. They defeated an previously undefeated Loyola team in a sectional final, and then really took apart a very good young team playing outstanding defense in the Loyola University Super Sectional. As far as Edwardsville is concerned, they came up defeating Highland by 10 in the regional, Collinsville by 12. Granite City, that was the 4th time those two teams have played. Edwardsville got the split in that 4-game series, moved them on to the Super Sectional. A 3-point win over Mascoutah. That was a come-from-behind win for Lori Blade's team. Now, as far as these two teams are concerned, you get to this point, you're going to get some outstanding players. We have all-state players on both sides of this floor here today. First of all, for New Trier, Deirdre Naughton, a third-team all-stater.
Deirdre's an outstanding shooter. She shoots the jump shot, and she shoots it right off the screen. She can put the ball up. She can penetrate to the basket, and she averaged like 28 points in the AAU Nationals this year, and she is an outstanding junior.
Young lady for Edwardsville, the name has come up before. It's Amber Shelton. She is a first-team all-stater. She played for Carrollton. She is now going to come to ISU here and play in her collegiate years.
I know Willie Cox, talking to him, he's very interested in seeing her come down here and play. She's a good player. She was here with Carrollton, and we're going to see what she can do against the bigger front line. She's moved from the inside to the outside. It's a big adjustment, and we'll see how she's done with it.
Well, as we said, these two teams don't get to scout themselves on a daily basis. They have to rely on their assistant coaches. They have to rely on the game films. So what do the keys of the game shake down to be on this one?
Well, for New Trier, basically it's a point guard play. They've got an outstanding point guard in Celia Franklin, and she's not a big scorer, but she controls the entire game. They've averaged less than 12 turnovers a game the last 4 or 5 games, and that's a big key. She gets the ball to the inside. They're inside players. There hasn't been 2 post players with this kind of presence on the inside since Loyola was down here with 6'2", 6'3" with Fletcher and Olga. And those 2 kids are a dominating force inside. Jaski and Dykstra are something to be reckoned with inside. And the other thing that they can do, because they have that presence inside, they'll be able to put a lot of pressure on their guards, and the guards from Edwardsville are going to have to come through and really handle that pressure. A lot of rebounds for New Trier. For Edwardsville, you know, defending the post is a big thing. How are they going to do that? Are they going to double team, or what are they going to do? Their shooting average is about 37%, but they have some good shooters in Shelton, McCaskill, and Harrison. They're going to have to take the majority of the shots, so shot selection is important. And the guard play, because of the pressure they can put on, they're going to have to handle the ball. And I think they have a freshman guard that's playing for Edwardsville, so it's going to be interesting.
Got a couple of teams that were ranked to finish out the regular season. New Trier number 4, Edwardsville number 8. They meet with the right to face Fenwick in the semifinals. Let's now go to our public address announcer here at Redbird Arena, Jeff Fritzen, for the introduction of all the players in this game.
Participants for the second quarterfinal game of America's original March Madness for girls basketball. First, the non-starters for the Trevians of New Trier High School, who bring a 29-6 record into the game. Number 2, a senior, Sarah Snyder. Number 4, a senior, Annie Stanley. Number 5, a freshman, Jenny Samuelson. Number 12, a junior, Jessie Gelber. Number 14, a senior, Marissa Akeson. Number 21, a junior, Kendra Cutco. Number 23, a sophomore, Ann Hickey. Number 25, a senior, Maureen Biederman. Number 33, a sophomore, Sarah Harrison. And number 34, a junior, Christina Torrey. And now the non-starters for the Edwardsville Tigers, who bring a record of 25-4 into the game. First, number 15, a sophomore, Lacey Shalinko. Number 22, a sophomore, Alyssa Kushel. Number 30, a junior, Shantae Hatter. Number 34, a freshman, Kara Franzen. Number 40, a freshman, Meredith Milner. Number 44, a sophomore, Meg Hesse. And number 50, a freshman, Alex Scherf. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups. First, from New Trier, a senior, number 3, Celia Franklin. From Edwardsville, number 12, a junior, Jade Stanlick. For New Trier, number 10, a senior, Maddie Johnson. For Edwardsville, number 24, a senior, Amber Shelton. For New Trier, a junior, number 22, Catherine Dykstra. And from Edwardsville, number 25, a junior, Tamara McCaskill. For New Trier, number 32, a junior, Deirdre Naughton. And for Edwardsville, number 31, a sophomore, Emily Harrison. For New Trier, a freshman, number 42, Amy Jaski. And for Edwardsville, number 32, a sophomore, Katia Hessel. New Trier's assistant coaches are Larry Grody and Marty Laffey. Edwardsville assistants are Donna Farley and Liz DeShazer. New Trier is coached by Terry Rogers in his 7th year with a record of 176 wins and 59 losses. Edwardsville is coached by Lori Blade in her 2nd year with a record of 36 and 18. Your officials for this semifinal.
New Trier 29-6, Edwardsville 25-4. Here's how they're coming at you today in quarterfinal game number 2. For New Trier, they go big up front. Jaski and Dykstra, 6'4", 6'3", respectively. Naughton, of course, leads them in scoring about 16 points per game. On the other side, Amber Shelton, 17.5 points per game. But as Darrell mentioned, watch out for the point guard, Jade Stanlick. She can get it going as well. So Jaski, Dykstra, Franklin, Johnson, and Naughton. Shelton, Harrison, McCaskill, along with Stanlick. Well, Edwardsville is no stranger to this floor, Darrell. They played here at the Christmas tournament in over the late December time area. They're used to the bigger floor. They're not intimidated by it.
It makes a difference. That 10 feet is something that a lot of people don't really think is a big difference. But when you get on a floor like this, it spreads everything out, makes you get back down on defense a little faster, and it really, defensive pressure is a little bit negated sometimes by the width and the depth of the floor.
See the big height advantage here in the opening tip. Dykstra controls for the Trevians. Right out of the blocks is Johnson. The putback will not go for Catherine Dykstra. This is Jade Stanlick, 5'7" junior.
New Trier's in their basic man-to-man defense. That's what they play about 95% of the time.
Once again, Stanlick will get it up top. Katja Hessel. Again, the pressure defensively that New Trier had was great against Young, and it turns it over this way.
move, she can shoot off the dribble. She's got a lot of talent, and she can really fill up the basket.
We saw turnovers in the first game lead to points, and very quickly here it does on the other way. To take a look at the polar opposites here in the state of Illinois, this truly is why it is a state tournament. Northeast to southwest. Winnetka down to Edwardsville.
New Trier has Maddie Johnson out there guarding Amber Shelton, and she's gathering her all over the floor.
Turnover number 2. Stanley gives it away to Johnson. Cecilia Franklin. On the skip in the corner, inside. Dykstra 0 for 2 inside. The rebound pulled off by McCaskill.
Dykstra had a real good look at the basket. She just didn't square up as quickly as she should before she released it.
Open at the top, big jump step and a block. Dykstra the block on Shelton. Ahead to Naughton. Dykstra's there for the putback.
Catherine Dykstra can not only play basketball, she's a state discus champion, and she's played volleyball now, so she's very tough.
The early lead to the Trevians from New Trier. They came into this ball game ranked 4th in the state. Hessel up top. There's the matchup. Shelton and Johnson, and then yet another turnover. This time the steal goes to Celia Franklin.
That's 2 steals for Celia. She's a tremendous defensive player, and she puts a lot of pressure on. Very tenacious out there. She always handles the point guard on the other team and really creates a lot of havoc out there.
That loss to Glenbrook South back on February 3rd, the last time that New Trier lost, and that was to an undefeated team. Glenbrook South took it all the way into the Super Sectionals undefeated before they were knocked off by Grayslake. We'll see them later tonight.
Right, they lost. Go ahead.
Freshman Jeske with the turnaround inside.
That's just tough to defend by anybody. They lost to Glenbrook South twice. And Glenbrook South was, of course, defeated by Grayslake in the Super Sectional game last week.
Edwardsville fans want some fouls. Tenacious defense put on by New Trier. Everything on the perimeter here. Hessel. They find Shelton. Her leaner will not go. Dykstra again with the board.
That's what that defensive inside does when you're so big.
Franklin running to Naughton. Shelton pulls it down. Now she'll make the break. Nice catch by McCaskill.
Another block for Catherine.
Coming up on 2.5 minutes played. Edwardsville has not hit the scoreboard. Naughton wide open. Shelton as the Tigers from Edwardsville put something on the board here.
Well, they haven't looked to do a whole lot except get the ball to Amber, and it's got to be a team effort.
Hessel. Good off to Emily Harrison. A lot of standing on offense for the Tigers. Shelton will look to create. Foul, should get a couple.
Has a good take to the baseline and ended up with a little bit of position there and gets to put the ball right up. Foul.
They have not lost in 2004. 15 games. Amber Shelton to the free throw line. I said she'll be right here on this floor. Finally puts a mark on the board for Edwardsville.
And she's a very excellent free throw shooter, so if she can get to the line with that penetration, it really will help Edwardsville.
There you see your number, 72% from the line.
Easy point.
We have a timeout on the floor with Edwardsville trailing New Trier 6-2. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And Chevrolet. Stop by and see your local Chicago, Northwest Indiana, or Central Illinois Chevrolet dealer today. Back at Redbird Arena, this is the IHSA Television Network. We're glad you are with us for the entire weekend. We would also encourage you, jump on the internet, www.ihsa.org. Here's what you get there. You'll get entire roster statistics. As soon as these games are over, you will find the game statistics right there. So partner it up, IHSA TV and IHSA.org.
And so far, New Trier has capitalized on 2 block shots and 2 turnovers to get this lead, and it's the defensive pressure that's helping them, plus their size inside.
Again, that win over Young in the Super Sectional, holding really a very good Dolphins team from Chicago Young to just 27 points. Defense was absolutely outstanding in that game, and that's what the Trevians predicate their entire game on.
And they held Danielle Campbell, outstanding player, to just 2 points in the game, and they're not going to win much with that.
Jeske may have forced that one. The rebound to Katja Hessel. Hessel with that shoulder brace. Back to Stanley. Hessel guarded by Naughton. Yet another block. Dykstra gets a hand on this one as Emily Harrison is stuck.
I think the block shot race was had by a girl from Aurora. Cammie Hudson, I believe. But that could go today.
Officially 3 blocks already. Naughton on the lob inside Dykstra. The inside move, not there. Good position inside by Shelton. Here come the Tigers to McCaskill on the run.
That's the way you score. You run the floor, you beat the big kids down.
Quickly the other way. Naughton finds the baseline. The foul will go against Emily Harrison, the 5'10" sophomore. First substitutions of the ball game come on the side of New Trier. Dykstra and Franklin to leave. Marissa Aikenson, number 14, and Jenny Samuelson, number 5, check in for Terry Rogers' club.
And Jenny Samuelson's a freshman, and she's a really good shooter. So she's been looking, if they play the zone, she'll be looking to score from the outside.
She's made 33 pointers this year. They go Jeske with a little turn and hook.
Good balance inside.
Lead doubled up on the Tigers at 8-4. Hessel at the top. Shelton used the body to get there. She'll stick with it. And the Tigers will reset. Back of the iron for Stanley. They got some looks on that trip. Here's Maddie Johnson, outstanding soccer player, headed to Boston College to play soccer.
Yeah, she is, and she's a very adequate shooter. When she gets the ball inside, she usually puts it in. She really complements her other players.
Coming up tonight, Peoria Richwoods, Naperville Central. That's your 6:30 ball game, and that will be followed by another matchup of the Fox Valley Conference, East Suburban Catholic Conference. 8:15, Grayslake and Marion Catholic coming your way right here in the IHSA Television Network. Stanley takes it inside.
That was kind of a duel of the freshman there. Stanley's left-handed, and you just got to play that, take that left hand away from her, although she went to the right that time.
A little half-court trap here by the Tigers. Johnson finds Naughton for 3. Hessel with the rebound. Tigers a chance to tie on this trip. Stanley going to crossover. Away with it is Johnson. Deidre not yet to get on track here in the first quarter.
No, but she will eventually.
Looking for it, will not get it there. Pretty much one shot and done here on the offensive end for New Trier. You wonder here in the early going whether Edwardsville now is just kind of shaking the nerves out just a little bit. Shelton, tough spot, good feed. Somehow Amber Shelton found Tamara McCaskill. McCaskill get a couple of free throws out of it.
Now the point guard Stanley has had a much easier way getting the ball down the floor and into the proper spots with the freshman Samuelson guarding her than she had in the beginning. A couple penetrations, a couple dishes, a couple nice passes.
Tamara McCaskill at the line. She's a junior. Deirdre Nutt will have a seat. Celia Franklin to replace her. It's one thing New Trier will do. They will rotate among their 7 players. It's a 1-point game after the free throw by McCaskill. Edwardsville in the zone. Johnson with the penetration. Franklin doesn't like it there. She can shoot, partially blocked, a hand on the ball, but there for the putback is Marissa Akeson.
Yeah, it's basically a 1-2-2 zone, and in 1-2-2 you can either cover out or cover down, and with the big kids they're going to cover down, which makes the corners pretty open.
Stanley to the paint. 3-point difference. Under 1:20 to play here in the first quarter. The winner to get Fenwick. Emily Harrison stays alive. Here's Shelton pulling it up.
That was real good balance when she cut across the key. Jump stop, kept her head on the ball, right on the rim, and put it right in.
Amber Shelton has made this a 1-point game in the final minute of the first quarter. And the steal. Hessel. Stanley will keep it alive. And the lead. Jade Stanley has put Edwardsville on top here in the final 30 seconds of quarter number 1. Stay at this end of the floor. Kara Franzen into the ball game for the Tigers. Outside to inside to Dykstra, to the rebound to McCaskill.
She should turn to the inside there. She's got the whole inside the lane open and tried to go over 2 people.
Franzen, the freshman, rattles it in. That's coming off the bench and knocking it down. A 4-point lead for the Tigers. A whistle with 4.4 seconds left.
Now Naughton gave a little shot fake and went right to the basket that time instead of shooting the outside shot, and that's what she needs to do to get off track.
Get a good look at Terry Rogers in her 7th year at New Trier, and there's Deirdre Knutson. Those are some pretty good numbers right there. Deirdre just 2 points here so far today.
And she's definitely their scorer.
Trouble finding the range here early. Lacey Shalenko into the ball game along with Katja Hessel. Naughton for her second. Four seconds to work with, the length of the floor for the Tigers. Hessel has to hurry. But they'll take it. Edwardsville coming from behind here late. They'll take a 3-point lead into the second quarter. 14-11 our score. Edwardsville on top. We'll be back after these words from your local stations.
With the 14-11 lead over New Trier, one of the best things about IHSA March Madness is the fans. And New Trier might have the best fans in the state. What do you think, guys? This this is the 6th man. Even the principal was giving you guys props before the game.
Well, we've been real dedicated all season. We've been following the team everywhere we go, downstate, all around the place. We went to LaGrange, we went to Hinsdale, anywhere. We'll follow the team. We'll cheer for these girls.
Now, the key is to have the Under Armour, right?
It's the best. You need fist fans. You got to get into it. Hardcoreness is what the 6-man strives on.
And Charlie is the best dancer. Can we give a little? Pee-wee is getting jiggy with it, guys. The Trevians are fired up. You know what I'm talking about? Give me some, Charlie. Back to you.
I'm not sure we do, Lee. Pee-wee was getting it going there. In fact, Pee-wee was getting it going before the first game started today. So they've been here a while. Maddie Johnson knocks it down.
The difference in the game in the first quarter was the substitutions. The substitutes that came in for Edwardsville did a much better job of continuing in the continuity than the New Trier kids. And the New Trier kids, they kind of lost it when they substituted. So one thing you want to do, though, in the first part of the game is get all your kids in the game so that are going to play, so they get a little taste of this, so they get the nerves taken care of.
3 on the way. Hessel can't find it. There's McCaskill. There's Dykstra. Tamara McCaskill's been doing a solid job inside. So we take a look at the first quarter numbers. Take a look, New Trier struggling from the field. That's less than 33%. And surprisingly, Darrell, with the height advantage, the big height advantage for New Trier, Edwardsville with the 3-rebound advantage.
Yeah, that came right at the last part of the quarter when they took Dykstra out of the game. There was absolutely no blockout on that last play. It was lucky that New Trier was able to get the ball back.
Lori Blade, she looks at the scoreboard. I think she has to like what she sees. It's a 1-point lead on her side. Dykstra knocks it down and puts the Trevians back on top.
That's just tough. You know, they're in a 2-3 zone and the guards are playing up there. The guards are just not big enough to handle somebody like Catherine Dykstra. She can jump up and just grab the rim. That makes it tough.
Now Edwardsville on this trip trailing by a point. Stanlick changes that. That's 2 threes now for Jade Stanlick.
And that's big because the perimeter game's got to be right in shape there for Edwardsville if they're going to be able to hang with New Trier.
Naughton cannot find an opening. Into Dykstra. The baseline turn. 6 points for Catherine Dykstra.
And the most important thing when you're going to shoot a shot like that is to turn your head and find the rim before you shoot. And that time she did, and that's why I was able to go right down.
Departure from game number 1, which was a 51-point win for Fenwick over Jacobs. Here we're tied, coming up on the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Shantae Hatter in for Edwardsville. She's a 6-foot junior wearing number 30. Stanlick to Hessel. Shelton, but Johnson steps in front. And she'll send it the other way.
And they lost control on a breakaway. But that was a good anticipation by Maddie Johnson. She knew the ball was coming back to Amber Shelton, and she just jumped in the passing lane and was able to get that steal.
2 3-pointers coming by way of Jade Stanlick as New Trier is yet to find the range from outside the arc. Tigers very patient here on the offensive side.
They're doing a good job of controlling the ball.
Shelton.
Nice step through jump shot. Even though she didn't go in, she stepped through, she went right to the basket, and those are tough to stop.
Dykstra with her 7th rebound here in the first half. She'll get the shot away, she'll get fouled. Catherine Dykstra with a couple of free throws here will exceed her scoring average and her rebounding average. As we take a look at how these two teams stack up, you see defensively, you look at both of those, holding them underneath 39 points, their opponents underneath 39 points.
Right.
Edwardsville not necessarily a good 3-point shooting team on a season at 28%, opposed to New Trier's 42, but it's been turned here in the first half.
Yeah, a couple of big ones. Catherine Dykstra is usually a pretty good free throw shooter.
And as you speak, there are her numbers.
Look a little uncomfortable on that.
She averages 5.8 rebounds per game. As we said, she has 7 here in the first half. Empty on both. So we stay locked up here. The 5.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Semifinal game number 2. Trier packing it in.
See, they're trying to post up Amber Shelton inside on Maddie Johnson right now.
Instead, Hessel will just take it out. They're happy right now, 17 all. Took them a while to score their first points. In fact, Shelton had to knock a couple of free throws down to get it. They find Shelton. She finds Stanley. Not this time. Rebound number 8 for Catherine Dykstra. To Naughton. Against the freshman. Kara Franzen on the defense, and the Edwardsville fans didn't think there was any skin involved.
That was a pretty touchy foul. Deidre, when she gets on a break like that, is going to take the ball to the basket. They should know that.
Lori Blade, the second-year head coach for Edwardsville. What a career she has had. 269 and 45 overall. All she did was win 2 state championships and finish second once for Carrollton in Class A.
And she's done a real good job down in Edwardsville.
First one creeps in for Naughton as the Tigers have committed 17 fouls, so 1 in bonus here for Naughton the rest of the way until we hit that 10 foul mark and a super bonus. 2 for Naughton. She has 5. Timeout on the floor. New Trier has taken the 2-point lead. 19-17. More coming up from Redbird Arena right after this. Welcome back to Redbird Arena. We'd like to remind our Peoria TV viewers that Saturday's semifinals will be seen on Inside Cable TV in Peoria. That's Channel 17, Channel 5 in Bloomington Normal, and Gridley Cable Channel 61. Now that's Saturday, semifinals only. Otherwise, you keep it right here. This is where your home for IHSA television will be. And also, Charter Cable, EC TV Channel 10 in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, and Madison Communications Channel 12 in the Staunton-Hamel areas will be playing this Edwardsville New Trier game on Friday, March 12th at 8:30 a.m. and Saturday, March 13th at 5 p.m. Right now, the folks in Edwardsville find themselves down by 2 to New Trier. Edwardsville looking for their 16th consecutive win. We said they played on this floor at Christmas. In fact, they played and beat Peoria Richwoods. You'll see Richwoods later on this evening take on Naperville Central. Shelton still guarded by Johnson. Fires the 3, just barely drew iron. And foul from behind as Katja Hessel is touched by Maddie Johnson.
Yeah, that's just something that can't happen. New Trier is not putting a body on anyone. They're just trying to jump for the ball. You really have to cut those people off, and you have to put a body on them, or they're going to get those loose balls. Especially when you shoot a 3, the rebound always goes out further.
Terry Rogers, part of that 2001 third-place finish. You know, she took the softball team in New Trier to state in '95, so she said back in 2001 it really wasn't that big of a deal. I might argue with her on that one a little bit.
New Trier's gone to a zone now, a 2-3 on the out of bounds. It's the first time they've been in this defense.
Baseline Hessel. Shelton nicely poked away from behind by Naughton.
That was a really, really pretty dish inside.
First time for Edwardsville in girls basketball. You heard Lee talk between games with Tim Doherty, the girls athletic director and head football coach. They've done the football story a few times, along with baseball, rich baseball tradition. Inside, the foul goes against, actually will send Amber Shelton to the free throw line. Darrell, I really like the approach here that Edwardsville has taken. It looked like they were a little intimidated here early, but now they've settled down and they're trying to figure out how to attack the defense here for New Trier.
Well, actually, Edwardsville is working the ball much better. They're passing the ball around and they're getting the open shots. New Trier is taking the first shot they get available, and they've been missing a little bit, and so that's why the game is right where it is right now.
17.5 points per game for Shelton. She has 5. Here, and it's a 1-point difference. Jenny Samuelson back to the game. She will feed the left corner to Naughton. Looks like Edwardsville's going to make the Trevian shoot it. Naughton empty.
Not using her legs, using her arms only. Needs to get her legs up underneath those shots.
We saw that 1-point loss that New Trier suffered at Glenbrook South earlier in the year. Naughton was held to 2 points in that game.
Right.
Shelton to the line. She'll get 2 more.
What you're going to see here is you're going to see a real good move by Amber Shelton. She's got that step-through move, that little long jump stop, and New Trier is just not ready to handle that.
Edwardsville a little bit cold from the free throw line. Missed a couple on their last few trips there, just 4 of 6 from the line so far today.
I have not seen anyone use that step-through move as well as Amber Shelton uses right now this season.
Well, that move results in a free throw and gives us a tie ball game. Trier yet to get their offense on track. They found Dykstra inside several times. Franklin will try her luck, gets glass, and that's it. 4th and 8th ranked teams in the state, according to the last Associated Press poll, concluding the regular season. New Trier number 4, Edwardsville number 8. New Trier was the number 2 seed in their sectional. The number 1 seed went to Loyola, and deservedly so. Loyola undefeated until New Trier got the best of them. Possession will stay at this end. Edwardsville to have it.
And New Trier and Loyola played a couple times during the year, and the first time Loyola got the best of them, but Peter Naughton didn't play in that game, and it made a huge difference. The second time it was a 10-point win for New Trier.
Hessel thought about it. Now she'll step in. Naughton reaches out with the fingertips for the rebound. Looking to break a tie here. Turnover, and now a foul. Jenny Samuelson with both.
And that's the 3rd turnover for the freshman, and you just have to use pass fakes, and you have to be able to move the ball a little bit quicker. Can't let them trap you.
Not very good shooting on either side today. Trier at about 35%. Edwardsville, despite that 6 of 18 performance, have this game tied at 19. They will turn it away for the 6th time today. Naughton finds Jaski. Samuelson sets it up and knocks down a 3.
That's what she does best right there.
Number 2 on his team, and number of 3-pointers made. That's her 31st.
If you leave her set open, she's going to make the shot.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark here in the first half. Evidently, Franzen didn't like when she started turning to her left, so she'll get it back out to Stanley. Very poised-looking Edwardsville team right now.
She's doing a good job of controlling the game.
Franzen, a 5'7" freshman, on the drive, the pull-up, the block.
Another block by Jaski that time.
Naughton weaving her way down the floor. Deirdre Naughton, as we said, Mitch, the first 11 games of this year with a broken foot. So she's come back. Trevians have been solid.
Yeah, it happened in her house. She dropped the sink on her foot. Right there, it's just bailed out with a foul. So there's no reason to try to foul her when she's off balance like that.
She misses the first.
Here we go back to Jenny Samuelson, who made that last big 3 for New Trier. When she played her very first game of the year as a freshman, she hit 3 big 3s to win the game up at Warren High School. And from that point on, you could tell that she was going to be a dead-on shooter.
Naughton gets the second. 6 points for Deirdre.
New Trier is going to use a little bit of pressure up the court now.
The lead is 4 for the Trevians. Stanley head up all the way. Shelton bodied up by Akeson. The turnover will give it to New Trier, the 4-point lead with the $1:27 left here in the first half.
Well, one thing that Edwardsville is doing very well, they're driving, they're drawing, and they're dishing. The problem is that the passes aren't quite as good, and when you got those big kids inside, you have to have almost a perfect release when you're going to get up to the basket. But they're doing a nice job of getting the ball inside, actually.
Samuelson spots it. Stanley may have gotten a piece of that one. Let's see how they call it. Nope.
I think she did get a little piece of that. I think the referee just didn't see that.
Rotation of the ball just stopped after it left her hand. You take a look at Edwardsville. Topped it out at 74. bottomed at 30. They're sitting at 19 right now. Both of those, of course, coming in the holiday tournament right here in the Bloomington Normal area. Shelton blocked by Jaski, just standing there.
Jaski's waiting for her to make her move, and then when she releases, she's got such long arms, she's just blocking the shot. That's the way you stay away from foul trouble. Jaski's not even leaving the floor, not taking the fakes.
6 feet 4 inches and a freshman.
I think she's bigger than that, actually.
Which way are we going? We'll stay with the white jerseys. There you get a good look at Amy Jaski. She had 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks in that win over Loyola. With 60 seconds to play in the first half, Edwardsville down by 4. Hessel and Samuelson getting it on there. And Jaski will get called for the push from behind on Shelton.
No, it wasn't Jaski.
Actually, it's Marissa Akeson. You take a look at Marissa. You know, she's one of a number of great soccer players on this team that played for the state soccer champs from New Trier back in June of 2003. Akeson, along with reserve Annie Stanley and Maddie Johnson, all members of that state championship soccer team. Shelton, 2 state championships when she played at Carrollton. Hits them both. 8 points for Shelton.
I'm sure is probably going to be patient here and try and get a good shot or the last shot.
Jaski able to look over the defenders. To Naughton on the runner. Rebound on the floor to Stanlick. Edwardsville here in the final 30 seconds could tie. Stanlick will back it out. Looking all likelihood for that final shot.
They're being very patient also.
Hessel guarded very closely by Samuelson. And a pick from behind. And Shelton the foul. Boy, it was just like a cobra. You take a look, you look at Jenny Samuelson. She just hovered and then just saw the ball and sprang for it. Back into the ball game is Kara Franzen for Edwardsville. Put Samuelson at the line.
Well, these last 2 possessions are real important. These 2 free throws, and then if Edwardsville comes down, they get a chance to get the ball and maybe get those last points of the half. Going into the halftime, it's real important to have a little bit of momentum.
Samuelson could be personally responsible for that with the steal. 1 free throw. And the ball is going to stay in New Trier's hands. Yep.
Those are things that are coach's nightmares right there. Just get a hand on it and not really block out, and the ball just bounces right off out of bounds. That gives New Trier an opportunity.
Jaski up high. The wing to Franklin. That's a 3.
And that's the kind of shot she can hit. She's not as good dribbling into the shot, but when she gets her feet set, she can make that 3 all the time.
And that will send these 2 clubs to the locker room. New Trier, the 27-21 lead with a little burst here in the final seconds of this first half. Celia Franklin's first points of the day come from long range and give New Trier their biggest lead of the afternoon, and there is that momentum that we were talking about. Lee Hall is standing by with Terry Rogers. Lee?
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Points in the paint, 14-4 at last check. You guys are doing a good job inside.
Yeah, but I think we could actually do a little bit better job. You know, I think we kind of stopped there in the second quarter, getting the ball inside. Edwardsville's doing a nice job of really dropping a lot of players in there. We missed some shots outside. Deirdre's not hitting too well right now, but you know, hopefully she can get her shot back, and we can continue to get the ball inside.
All right, good luck to you second half.
Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Dave.
Terry Rogers, nice and calm. She's been here before. Finished 3rd in 2001, and right now they hold that 6-point lead. Halftime coming up here at Redbird Arena after these words from your local stations.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena. Our halftime score, 27-21. New Trier leads Edwardsville. I'm Lee Hall, and we are joined by two of the assistant coaches from Peoria Richwoods. They have the unenviable task tonight of taking on Naperville Central and a young lady by the name of Candace Parker. This is John Gross. This is Ralph Gallo. Their other assistant coach, Tom McGee, has about 40 years of experience. That's one thing I want to talk to you about, first of all, Coach, the experience level on your guys' bench. When you add in Coach Quilty, it's over 100 years of experience.
Yeah, we've been around a while. We've got some experience down here at the state tournament. Hopefully that'll help carry us through a tough game tonight, but we're confident and the kids are confident and we're having a lot of fun.
People know you, remember you from Limestone and your great teams. Tell me, refresh our memories on your trips to Champaign and Redbird Arena.
Okay, well, we took 5 trips to Champaign and we come out a loser, unfortunately, each time, but we always had a good experience, always had a tough game, played well, and then we come down here to Redbird the first year and we finished second to a good Marshall team, and we had chances to win that game. And just coming up 2 points short from an undefeated state championship year. It was a lot of fun.
You were a head coach, 28 years in coaching. Why stay at it? Why be an assistant coach?
Well, I was out a year and I missed it, and I got a chance when Terry called me to come back to coaching at Richwoods, and don't regret it at all. Most fun I've had in a long, long time, and I'd still like to be a head coach somewhere someday. I'm not too old yet, and but there's nothing like coaching. Getting down here, you know, it's been well worth it.
Let's talk to Ralph Gallo now. Coach, when you talk about that experience on your guys' bench, you guys all seem to get along pretty well, and there's not a lot of ego there, even though you've got all that experience.
No egos whatsoever. You know, Terry's the head coach, and we all feel that we can add something to the program, and we've all meshed very well.
You go way back. We go way back to the early mid-'80s when Nora Lewis was a player at Richwoods, and they made it to state. Tell me about her and Candace Parker. I asked you this earlier this week, how you would compare the two players. Nora was an All-American and went on to Louisiana Tech.
Well, they're both very, very special players, and again, as I told you, I'm very biased towards Nora, but Candace is the first one that I've been able to make a comparison with. She's very, very good. They're both very good in the open floor, and she's a little taller than Nora was. You know, Nora was 6 foot, Candace 6'3".
Yeah, Nora, of course, a player at Richwoods. How do you go up against a defending state champ, a girl that's considered the best high school player in the country?
Well, we're going to try the best we can and see what happens. I mean, we have some strengths too, and we're going to try to go with our strengths.
Coach Gallo, Coach Gross, good luck to you tonight. Thanks for joining us. A pleasure. We'll be back with more from Redbird Arena after these local messages.
Six-point lead for New Trier as Edwardsville, a little bit of trouble there in the final few moments there of the first half, making their first appearance here in the girls' state finals. We welcome you back to Redbird Arena, and along with Daryl Kipp, I'm Dave Bernhardt. And Daryl, you know, you take a look at the shooting here today. Both these teams can shoot the ball, but it's really not clicked for either one here today.
Well, they're just getting into the flow of the game. The second half, I think, is going to be a little bit better. The big difference in the game right now is a rebound that wasn't handled by Edwardsville, and then they kick it out for a 3. And Celia Franklin has made her first shot of the game, which was a 3 against Loyola in the super sectional. She made one shot at the start of the half, a 3. So, you know, those kind of things just the coach's nightmare. On the other hand, I think Edwardsville's got really good spacing in their offense, and they're doing some nice things. And you know, Amber Shelton, having not seen her since she went down to Edwardsville, I got to say she's made a real good transition to the outside. Her moves are very good. She just got to finish.
take a look at the numbers here in the first half, how they match up. And you can see the shooting a little subpar. Edwardsville, that works out to your 32%. As far as New Trier is concerned, 37%. The rebound advantage still belongs to the Tigers from Edwardsville.
Yeah, well, Deidre Naughton has been off, and she's jumping backwards a little bit, and she's not getting her legs into her shot. But as you know, shooters shoot, and she will keep shooting, and I believe the ball will probably go in. If it doesn't, New Trier could have a little bit of problem. They need Deidre to score from the outside.
Take a look at some of the other figures from today, the other stats from today. Second chance points. New Trier a little bit off of that, and of course the points in the paint, as Lee mentioned earlier, 14-4, and of course that's an advantage you would figure to have. Catherine Dykstra got off to that big start and then didn't hear much from her in the second quarter.
I didn't see the block shot stat there, but that's one thing that New Trier has done. They've got 5 or 6 block shots in a game, and that tends to have you a little bit nervous when you get the ball inside and you try to get off a little bit faster. So that's got to be a little problem for Edwardsville, but I think they've handled it pretty well. I think their 3-point shots, they made 2 from the right at the top of the key, and that's really helped them also. So they've showed a lot of composure.
We've got a lot more coming up here at the half. You stay right there. 6-point lead for New Trier. We'll be back after these words from your local stations. Back at Redbird Arena, halftime here of the second quarterfinal game. Game number 1 earlier today went to Fenwick over Jacobs by 51 points. So Fenwick, the Friars, sitting around to see who they will be facing tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And of course, that game you can catch here right on your station for IHSA television. Let's take a look at some of the action from the first half. Deirdre Naughton, as we mentioned, a third-team All-Stater on the season. A little bit quiet, but not in this one. She creates, she scores. On the other side, for Edwardsville, Amber Shelton, she's a first-teamer. Amber will knock it down. New Trier got a big game. We mentioned Catherine Dykstra here. She scores. She ended up, by the way, with 4 blocks in that first half, 4 of the 5 New Trier blocks. And finally, the freshman, this is the first time she touched the ball. Kara Franzen put it down. Good for a long 2-pointer. So that's where we sit right now. The difference 27-21 here at the half at Redbird Arena. Coming up tonight, by the way, starting at 6:30. I know you're going to want to be here to see Candace Parker once again. It was one of the most talked about tournaments last year when they faced off with Fenwick for the championship game, as Naperville Central to host Peoria Richwoods. The Knights, as Lee mentioned, have the tall task ahead of them. And then we'll wrap it up here on quarterfinal Friday. Grays Lake taking on Marion Catholic, as the Spartans from Marion Catholic making their 3rd appearance here. 3rd consecutive appearance in the state tournament. Grays Lake, first time that they will have been in any team sport in the team situation. We're ready to start half number 2, but first we'll step aside. We're coming right back here for half number 2 in the state quarterfinals.
All right, we were with Edwardsville. Coach Lori Blade, what did you tell your team at halftime, Coach?
I'm pleased with our boarding, but we've got to stop transition. We've got to pick up the Naughton kid a little bit quicker than what we did. And we've got to be more aggressive and use our speed. Get to the basket and maybe get to the free throw line a little bit more.
All right, good luck second half. All right, back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Lee. You take a look at those numbers there for Lori Blade. Last year, Edwardsville, 11-14. So how about that? That was in her first year. Lori Blade comes in here, turns it around, 25-4. As we enter this ball game, ranked 8th in the state. As we mentioned, if you're looking for common opponents, I mean, the best you can do when you take a north versus south, not necessarily common opponents. You take a look at the scoring leaders here in the first half. Edwardsville came up 2 Bloomington Normal area and defeated Marshall 47-42, Chicago Marshall. So, you know, if you're looking for some sort of a comparison, that's a pretty good one, and that's getting the job done if you're Edwardsville, a 5-point win over Marshall.
Right, and a little bit of difference right here. You see the leading scorers, but New Trier has had 7 people score in the game, and Edwardsville only 4, and the 2 players that have 8 are their 2 major scorers. So New Trier is getting a little bit of contribution from more players coming in. So that's a little bit of an advantage, I think, for New Trier, because it's harder to defend a team that has more scorers on the floor at one time than just 2. It's a little bit different when you have everybody scoring, because it really confuses the defense a little bit.
New Trier with the ball first. Maddie Johnson back to Celia Franklin. She had that big 3. Around the zone, Johnson finds Jeske to the hole.
That's a beautiful pass from Celia Franklin. And Jeske just inside. She's not a thin girl for a freshman, and she just uses her body very well.
She has developed as the year has gone on as well.
She's gotten a lot better.
Here's the steal. Naughton to the rack.
That might even get her out.
The lead balloons to 10, and you remember in the final 15 seconds of the first half, Edwardsville had a chance to tie. 8 straight run off here by the Trevians. Cameron McCaskill on the skip to Shelton. Sticks it.
That's going to be a jump off.
Look at Dykstra. How many times have you seen a young lady go up there and take a ball off the rim that's pinned between the rim and the backboard?
And she could probably just jump up there and grab the rim and hang there a while. She's a high jumper also, very good in the state. Plus, she's, like I said, the state discus champion.
McCaskill turns around, sees Dykstra.
It's a nice up and under, but Dykstra did not take the fake.
And there you go. Dykstra on one side, Jeske the rebound on the other. Trier looking to build on the 10-point advantage. Into Jeske, turns with the left hand.
If you go back and look at that last time when they did the up and under move down there, you'll see that what Catherine Dykstra did is she kind of backed up, let her make the move, and then just defended her because they can't shoot over her. She's got such long arms and she's so tall.
Now the Tigers are faced. Time to score. Tough shot, in and out for Emily Harrison. Pretty good run right here, 10-0 for the Trevians. Nunn to Jeske with the right hand. Making it look easy now.
It's just tough. You don't really have an answer for that inside.
Amy Jeske with 10 points. Edwardsville will take a timeout. So out of the blocks, Naughton with the bucket on a fast break off a turnover. Jeske with 2, and all of a sudden, Edwardsville fans look up at a 14-point difference. New Trier, you know, they've lost to some outstanding teams on the season, just 6 losses. One of the teams they lost to was Warsaw of Indiana in the McDonald's shootout in late January, and all Warsaw is doing is they are going to be playing for the Class 4A state title in Indiana this Saturday. You take a look at other teams that New Trier's lost to. We mentioned twice to Glenbrook South, who was undefeated all the way up until the Super Sectionals. They lost to undefeated Loyola, along with Naperville Central. If you're talking about quality losses, Daryl, those are quality losses for New Trier.
Well, New Trier plays in one of the toughest areas in the state, the Northwest Suburbs, in the Central Suburban League, and they didn't even win the Central Suburban League this year. That shows you how tough it is up there. The tougher schedule you play during the year, even if you lose games, it's going to make you better and more seasons for down here. And the interesting thing is they played Fenwick twice, and if they win this game, they're going to be facing them for a 3rd time, and you know how tough that can be. Luckily, they've beaten Fenwick twice, so it's a little bit of an advantage there, but Fenwick's got a lot of freshmen, and they get into things, but I'll tell you, Fenwick is, New Trier is going to be a tough matchup for New Trier because of the 3rd time jinx.
Trip up by 55 for the Edwardsville cheerleaders. Their team has a little bit of work to do, trailing by 14. Jade Stanley had 8 points in the first half. She'll give it off to Katja Hessel. Harrison to Stanley, works against Franklin. Dykstra steps in, get a piece of the ball. Jeske the other way.
Even though that shot was blocked, I'm really impressed by the little point guard, number 12. She's doing a nice job of handling the pressure and the ball, and took it right to the basket. Just she's not used to playing against a kid like Catherine Dykstra.
Jade Stanley, very poised junior. She's an excellent tennis player, qualified for the state finals. She's used to the big stage. Dykstra tries to muscle her way in, but gives it away.
A little travel there, but they triple teamed her.
Shelton. Not much she can do from her knees there, so she'll give it back. They'll reset with Hessel. Harrison turns around, and there's Dykstra. That's a tough way to go. And you know, you take a look right there at the elbow. Harrison turns around. Emily Harrison at 5'10", good size. When we turn around, Catherine Dykstra 6'3" with the wingspan. That cuts off a lot of passing lanes immediately.
And the spacing wasn't really there. And you notice what happened to Edwardsville. They didn't look into the basket. They're looking to pass the ball sideways on the floor. So they're not really attacking. And that's what's going to happen when we get those kids inside. They kind of give up on the inside game, and they're looking just to move the ball around the perimeter. When you get to a perimeter team, then you don't have a lot of chance against New Trier.
Looking for something to happen. Not much movement offensively. Harrison again. McCaskill from long range and a whistle late. Tamara McCaskill will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair as Amy Jeske picks up the personal foul.
Now, you're right on your observation. There's just not much movement. They're standing around waiting for something to happen, and the only way that they can get open is to move and get those big kids to move so they can't clog up the inside.
That was just the first foul on Jeske as Kara Franzen comes back in. Kara Franzen, interesting quote. She's, you know, obviously hit a big shot, but Franzen said, you know, I'm a freshman. It's just a privilege to get in the game. When she gets in, she contributes. McCaskill finally breaks the ice. Johnson steps in. They look inside.
They're just giving Celia Franklin a shot from the top and just posting up inside it, putting 3 or 4 people inside. So the outside shooters are going to have a field day if they make the shots.
Nunn tries to create. And
it should be a 3-point play. We'll see what the referees are going to do right here.
No. We have a timeout on the floor. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Apt Electronics and Appliances. For the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price, visit Apt in Glenview. Let's take a look at that last play by Naughton. Was it a block or was it a 3-point play? Well, you be the judge on that one. Naughton says, I thought I had 2. Instead, unbounds underneath your own basket. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Lee Hall.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. The Edwardsville guys, you guys need to get fired up here. What's going on? What's your name?
Jonathan Lacey.
Jonathan, you haven't missed a game all year?
Nope.
What about you?
Not one.
What's your name?
Tyler Enlow.
Tyler, you said you missed a game because you had knee surgery.
I had knee, yep. That was one game, though.
That's a lame excuse.
Well, you know, I was off. I couldn't walk for like, you know.
What do you guys got to get going here? You got to get going.
We're gonna win. Those girls are really big. They're hard to guard for us.
You guys have a push-up squad. You do push-ups for touchdowns in football. What do you do for baskets?
Push-ups as well.
You do push-ups as well? All right. Drop and give me 22. All right, Edwardsville, you guys got to get fired up here. Back to you, Dave.
Well, a couple of things right there. Those guys were right on it. The push-ups, they haven't had to do any here in the second half. And, you know, the comment, it was so simple, so accurate. They're big. You just saw it right there with Jeske and Dykstra.
Well, the fans were wanting an over-the-back call, but Dykstra didn't even jump. She just put her arms up and took the ball away from the Edwardsville player that was going for the rebound, so it really wasn't a foul.
Saw earlier 2 of 3 here in this half for New Trier, and right there, that's the first bucket of half number 2. Franzen knocks it down for the Tigers. The lead still in double digits. Well, we've not seen Terry Rogers go to her bench much here in the second half.
No.
Shelton with a hand on the ball. Possession to New Trier.
There you can see the valuable presence of Adita Naughton, who goes on the floor, grabs the ball, gets there quickly, and makes the play for New Trier. She's a hustler.
Johnson had a look. She has the drive. The rebound to McCaskill. Here comes the Tigers wanting to move it a little bit quicker. You heard Lori Blade say that at halftime. They'd like to use their speed a little bit more, but New Trier does get back.
And they have to get their spacing.
Maddie Johnson on the race. Can't finish. Jaski can. She has a dozen. She had 14 points in a super sectional win over Young. Trying to cross over on Franklin, will not go. Shelton, physical player.
She's not getting by anyone now with the jump. Early in the game, they were letting her get by, so she was getting the shots off. Now, the jump stop is not really getting her by anyone, and so she can't really shoot over them because she's not as big.
Shelton averages 17.5 points per game. She has just one field goal today. Marissa Akeson, number 14, replaces Dykstra. Jenny Samuelson also into the ball game as you look at the turnover numbers that Lori Blade is so well aware of.
Looks like New Trier is going to spread the floor here a little bit and try and just wait, see if they'll come out and play man-to-man against them.
Just a wee bit outside Samuelson's range, and the turnover will give the ball to the Tigers with 2:13 to play here in the third quarter.
A little miscommunication there when cutting to the basket and didn't really anticipate getting a pass.
Win over Mascuda. Mascuda in the super sectionals decide to play a triangle and 2 on Stanley and Shelton. Here New Trier says, you know what, we're going to go straight up. And that's what Shelton does right there. Still can't get it to go down, but she'll go to the line once again.
And that was a very good possession. I mean, Shelton went in, she sealed her off on the inside, got the ball, made a good shot fake, and Jaski jumped up in the air there, and that was the difference because she left her feet. She couldn't block the shot without the foul.
This will be the 9th and 10th free throw attempts for Shelton today. She has 9 points. She's led this team in scoring 21 times in their 29 games. 23 times Shelton has been the leading rebounder for the Tigers. Big ball game in a super sectionals. The win over Mascuda. 22 points on 9 of 11 from the field. She has 10. The lead is 11.
Okay, now we're going to go a little bit of 1-2-2 half-court pressure here.
Samuelson inside quickly to Akeson. Franzen sent it away with authority, but draws the foul. Take a look at Jaski. Hands up high. Akeson, you just saw her. I want the ball. Franzen got hurt.
That didn't look like much of a foul, did it? But when you swing like that, the referees are going to anticipate that every time. That was a nice defensive play.
New Trier just 5 of 11 from the line today.
They're not shooting very well from the free throw line.
On the season, New Trier 62% average. But they've got enough right now for a 12-point difference. 1:40 left here in the third quarter. Quarterfinal game number 2. Game 3 comes your way at 6:30. That's when Richwoods will take on Naperville Central. Franklin with the rebound. Get a chance to see Naperville Central, top-ranked team in the state. National Player of the Year, Candace Parker, Peoria Richwoods. Kind of a surprise to be here. They were the 6th seed in their sectional. They'll get here and show what they're made of.
This is an interesting offense. They've got Dieter Naughton playing a high post. And they're trying to spread them out against the 2-3 zone.
Samuelson loads up, knocks it down. That's her second trade. 15-point difference into the final minute of the third quarter. Harrison open, but there's another block. This time it was Jaski. That's the 7th block of the game for New Trier.
Now this is going to the basket.
And in. Deidre Naughton.
You could tell when she got the pass that she was going to the hole.
She has 10, joins Jeski in double figures. Franzen open. And now New Trier will look to close the quarter. in strong fashion.
That was a third straight rebound for the point guard.
Naughton directing traffic. Down to 5. Naughton open 3, not this time. That closes the third quarter, and a good one for New Trier. They turned a 6-point halftime lead into a 17-point lead after 3. Fourth quarter coming up, but first, these local messages. Back at Redbird Arena, where we hope you enjoyed all 8 games last week in the girls Class 8 tournament. We've got 8 games here for you today. All right, this weekend, 1 has been played today. We're working on game number 2, but coming up tonight, we've got quarterfinal games 3 and 4. Peoria Richwoods takes on Naperville Central, and in the nightcap, we'll see who will be the 4th member of the Final Four. Grace Lake will take on Marian Catholic. So we said we're happy you've joined us, and a note here to our Edwardsville viewers that Charter Cable ECTV Channel 10 in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon and Madison Communications Channel 12 in the Staunton-Hamel areas will be replaying this Edwardsville New Trier game on Friday, March 12th at 8:30 a.m. and Saturday, March 13th at 5 p.m. So you get a chance to relive the moments downstate for the girls from Edwardsville. They have a 17-point lead to make up as New Trier outscored the Tigers 16-5 in that third quarter.
Well, Edwardsville's going to have to change their strategy, and if they go to the 1-2-2 half-court trap, then that's going to spread out the defense, and it's going to give New Trier a chance to go to the basket more and get the ball inside. That's the problem that Edwardsville's facing right now.
It was 23-21 at one point late in the first half. Since then, New Trier has had their way, outscoring the Tigers 20-5.
Well, they've done a very good job of defense on Amber Shelton, and that's a lot of the problem. I think that Edwardsville really relies on her for scoring, and she hasn't been able to get to the basket.
Stanley cannot get it go down into the basket. Franklin, yet another time that the point guard will try to make things happen. It was a 51-point win for Fenwick in the first quarterfinal as Samuelson splits the trap. Franklin, they say they'll give it to her. She hits it.
When she gets her feet set, you don't want to give her that shot.
She hit one in the first half. She matches it here in the second. 20 points is the difference. 46-26. Said this was tight right up until the last 10 seconds of the second quarter. McCaskill puts the ball on the floor and moves her feet. Traveling call goes against Tamara McCaskill. We take a look at the numbers from the third quarter through 3 quarters. New Trier will obviously hold the advantage. Look at Edwardsville from the field, just 7 of 28. New Trier's taken 12 more shots.
Well, what happens to you when you got those big kids leaning on the inside, it just takes a toll. And by the second half, it really gets you worn out. And that's kind of happened to Edwardsville. They've just kind of gone away from what they've been doing the whole season, and they're not really able to handle the inside part, so it takes part of their game away.
Saw the rebounding difference as Jaski pulls another one off. Now 27-22, the advantage to New Trier. Good ball movement, looking to finish. Akeson cannot do it.
Got too deep on the block and had a bad angle.
Stanley challenges Jaski. Not too many white jerseys in front of her, so she'll just give it back to Franklin. Catherine Dykstra down at the scorer's table. She's ready to check in. Trier, very efficient offense. We said they make their living playing defense, and they have certainly done it today.
And they don't turn it over very often.
Akeson, we're back to Franklin. They're just looking to kill some clock. Only 7 turnovers today for the Trevians. From behind, Emily Harrison with the foul.
Well, when you got a point guard that's going to Northwestern, that tells you she's got a little smarts, not only off the court, but on the court also. And she really directs traffic out there.
Dykstra comes in for Franklin. Actually in for Jeske. The trade there, well, you give up 1 inch. 6'4" Amy Jeske checks out. 6'3" Catherine Dykstra in. And those two will be back next year. Dykstra just a junior. Nice job by McCaskill to break up the pass inside.
How many teams would like to have a 6'4" girl come in for a 6'5" girl in a high school level? New Trier has really been blessed with some size there.
They can play. They're not just big, they can play. Looking for their 30th win of the season. They're 5 minutes and 12 seconds away from that. Nice catch by Naughton. Nice drive by Naughton. 12 points for Deirdre Naughton.
The difference there, it could have been 2 turnovers. Both Celia Franklin and Deirdre Naughton, when the ball was passed, went to the ball. They didn't stand and wait for it, and that made the difference in the completions and eventually the basket.
A little bit of frustration here now by Edwardsville. 4:52 to play in the ball game. We have a timeout on the floor. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And Chevrolet. Stop by and see your local Chicago, Northwest Indiana, or Central Illinois Chevy dealer today.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena. It's a 48-26 New Trier lead, and we're with one of the unsung heroes of March Madness and high school basketball. This is Al Rea. He's from Chicago. He's an official. What are you doing here today?
I'm here to enjoy and to give support to our fellow officials. Great guys out there and gals and so forth. And we always want to come and give them the support. We know these guys throughout the whole year. We get gatherings together and just have fun talking about basketball, certain things, crazy things that happen, and hopefully they come down here once a year and do a good job.
What do you look at when you watch a game? Are you actually able to watch the players and enjoy the basketball, or do you watch the officials and critique them?
We basically watch the officials. Because you always learn something. One day, who knows? I myself or some other official may come down and they watch them and see what goes on. And so when they get a chance to come down, they get to look at things here.
Give us a quick scouting report on Grayslake. You had them the other night in the Super, right?
Yes, I did. Grayslake has got a nice team. They're small, but they got a player named Caitlin Ming. She does a tremendous job. You stop her, you stop Grayslake. But their support of Caitlin has been very good lately. And if they come to play, they're going to be tough. I think that's going to be the best game tonight.
All right, Al Rea, Chicago, thank you very much. You notice when he's not refereeing, he's not wearing stripes, he's wearing plaid. I just wanted to add that little fashion tip there. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Lee, as Jade Stanley scores her 10th point of the day.
And that was another nice move by the guard.
Nice entry pass. Samuelson inside to Dykstra. Naughton battling hard inside.
That's what happens when you spread them out. They're trapping now, and you spread them out. Dykstra missed a shot, but Naughton was able to slide into the rebound because they're all spread out on the floor. And when you get behind, those are the kind of things you got to try to do something, and sometimes it can really hurt you.
Nice move by Shelton. Can't get it to go. She's frustrated. She'll head back the other way. She has just 1 field goal today. She is 1 of 9 from the field. This is the first team All-Stater. Franklin, no need to make anything crazy happen here. You lead by 22 with under 3 minutes to play. It's a very similar score to what New Trier beat Young by in Super Sectionals on Monday. Scorers have a way of surfacing by the time the game is played out, don't they? Naughton with 16 now.
Yeah, they certainly do.
That score against Young was 50-27.
That game was just a defensive expert playing that game against Whitney Young. Whitney Young's got Amanda Thompson, who's an all-state player, and Danielle Campbell, who's 6'4". The first time that they played twice during the year. Campbell had like 16 points and did a nice job against him. But Amy Jaski did a great job on her, and then Dykstra would double down, and they really found a nice formula there. And the guards from Whitney Young couldn't handle the pressure.
That should be it for Deirdre Naughton. Sits down with 16 points. Checking in is Annie Stanley. She's at the top, along with Samuelson at the guard spot. Shelton still working hard inside, gets it blocked again. That will be the 8th block of the day by New Trier, the 8th official block. It seems like we've had about a dozen. Samuelson got there in a hurry, couldn't get it to go. Now we're seeing some good freshmen out here, huh? Jenny Samuelson, a quick speed. We talk about Amy Jeske. Talk about Fenwick's quintet, if you will, of freshmen. Awfully nice young players here in this state tournament. 2:05 to play, 52-28 our score. Back to wrap it up after this. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited.
And you know, Dave, you mentioned some of those freshmen. Wait till you see Bianca Ward from Peoria Richwoods.
Indeed, the Stars will come out tonight. The Star just scored right there. Shelton's second field goal. You're talking about tonight, you're talking about Bianca Ward from Peoria Richwoods, Candace Parker from Naperville Central, and then in the final game of the night, you have Kayla Ming from Grayslake, Lauren Lacey from Marion Catholic. It is indeed a showcase here of some of the finest players in the state.
That's what it's all about.
A lot of regulars still into the ball game for New Trier. Celia Franklin, she's a starter. She has it right now. Stanley. Rebound on the floor to Shelton, and crashing hard is Jenny Samuelson. Well, New Trier will play Fenwick for the third time. That will come your way at 11 o'clock tomorrow in the state semifinals, the first semifinal game of the day. Well, they've had Fenwick's number. Can they do it 3 times in a row?
That's tough. Very tough. Boy, they're capable.
Fenwick looked sharp today. Granted, Jacobs was overmatched, and they would be the first to admit it. But Fenwick did look like they were on their game, and down here at ISU with a purpose.
Well, Fenwick did a lot of trapping today, and I'm not sure they'll be able to do that against New Trier, but it's a possibility. Those kids from Fenwick play hard, and they can shoot the basketball.
Samuelson can't come up with the steal. Lacey Shalenko into the game for Edwardsville. Stanley, long one, Shelton. Rebound, Franzen, yes. There's your freshman. That's going to set the tone and tempo for Edwardsville in the years ahead.
She is a nice player.
Sarah Snyder can't get the first one. The follow by Maureen Biederman is no good as well, as Terry Rogers has cleared her bench here in the final minute. We said earlier today, Fenwick defeated Jacobs 77-26. Maureen Biederman, a 5'9" senior, puts her name in the scorebook here in the state tournament. Now Lori Blade will clear her bench as well. Franzen leaves, along with Stanlick and Emily Harrison. Jenny Stanley, check that, Jenny Samuelson leaves for New Trier as well. Biederman gets them both. Lacey Shalenko with it, the orange headband. She'll get it off to Shelton. Feeds inside to Meg Hesse. Alex Scherf also into the ball game for Edwardsville. Shelton on the drive, the pick the other way. And it goes, Stanley. The score. Meredith Milner to Shelton, looking to get her teammates into the book. Alex Scherf cannot handle as we wrap it up. 56-32 is your final. We'll be back with more from Redbird Arena right after this.
New Trier 56, Edwardsville 32, advances to the Redbird Arena today. New Trier fans, tickets for tomorrow's game are available at Horton Fieldhouse, directly north of Redbird Arena. New Trier tickets for tomorrow's game is available at Horton Fieldhouse, Gate 1, north of Redbird Arena. We ask all fans to please leave the arena through any of the exits on the concourse level. We ask that you leave Redbird Arena immediately. Thank you.
New Trier moves their record to 30-6. They move to the state semifinals thanks to our Country Insurance Player of the Game, Deirdre Naughton, 16 points today for the 5'10" junior. So it'll be New Trier and Fenwick in the first semifinal tomorrow. Naughton will get a chance to do her job against Dave Powers' team as we look at the Apta Electronics Player of the Game. Stay with us. 6:30 tonight comes your way. Richwoods, Naperville Central, followed by Grays Lake, Marion Catholic. For Lee Hall and Daryl Kipp, I'm Dave Bernhardt. We'll talk to you again this evening.